talked about community projects in the past, okay? But there's one particular one that you've just shared with me off camera, and I'd really like to learn more. But I think it's best if you share it rather than me introduce it.
Okay. Um, this was a project where we provided quantity surveying.
Okay.
We were introduced via an architect from the local area here, from Brighton.
Yep.
It was for a council, and what it actually involved was the knocking down and rebuild for a Waterside centre, which incorporated classrooms, it incorporated changing spaces, it incorporated toilets, it incorporated a small sort of kitchen cafeteria, and then as a separate building, boat storage. And really what it is, it's an outdoor waterside centre with country park, and with that they've got the facility for the local community to go out and enjoy the outdoor space, enjoy the water, and it brought it right up into the sort of 21st century provision from the sort of derelict almost facilities that they had in the first place.
I love that. So tell me, mentioned derelict there, okay? So what did
Or
you
repair probably is probably a better
Okay.
description.
Where did you have to bring it from to get, and where do you take it to?
Okay, so we came in at feasibility stage, looking at providing budgets. It was the buildings were partially stone, partially timber, concrete. There was glue lamb. There was flat roofs or slightly pitched roofs and glazing. And we went in and sort of did a budget from that stage, taking it through the then tender process, taking it through all the way through to contractors on site, valuations. We had a contractor who unfortunately went into administration. With that, we handled that administration process, and the contractor had actually finished pretty much on site at that time. So finishing off the actual sort of defect side of things, agreeing with an administrator, and final account. So we sort of took it through the whole sort of life, if you like, of that project up to it being occupied.
Okay, and so tell me who are your end users? Is it the council, or is it the actual people using the facility? What would you say was?
The way I see it is that the end user is always the local community, that the people actually using the facility. The council are there as a client body for us, but ultimately our ultimate customer is that local community user, that person who wants to go out on the boat, out on the lake, or fishing or walking.
Now, I know you've shared with me in the past how important community is to you. You've done a lot of projects with football, and I know I can't get away from mentioning that you're a massive Fulham fan. So what does community mean to you?
Community means to me the people around me. It means my people that I work with, and in that I mean the broadest sense of the people I work with, my clients, my colleagues, my operators that I work with. It's the people that I have contact with. It's the people that are around me and live in the same vicinity to me. It's the people that live in the same facility of where I came from. I've moved out of London, brought up in Crawley, came down to the south coast, and with that I see all of that as being my community. Hospitality is my community. That's why we do like the healthcare stuff, and ultimately it's probably why I've become B Corp registered.
Okay, so tell me about
that. B Corp's about business for good. A lot of people haven't really heard about it yet. I think it will be a bigger thing in years to come. But if you look at your early adopters, people like Waitrose and John Lewis, where they've got their own, I think, a good company ethos in the share ownership and that by the staff. With that, they were a very early adopter of B Corp. We're not on their side scale, but it's business for good. Pushing stuff into utilising local people, employing local people. Spending locally as well. And locals are a rough definition. Local could be the fellow up the end of the road. It could be someone in the southeast of England for me. But business for good, I would say.
So with that in mind, what has the Waterside Centre had an impact on, within the local environment?
The Waterside Centre there was won design awards for the actual design on what it is. It's quite sustainably built. It's secure by design as well, and all these sort of sides of things coming through. But it actually improved the facility for what you had there. You've got proper 21st century changing rooms. You've got teaching spaces. You've got a cafe. You've got secure storage, and in all of that, we had a happy client.
Yeah.
And consequently, what that means to us is we're working with them again with the same project team.
Yeah. So what is your best piece of advice, your one takeaway today, say, if you're looking at working with local businesses, or you're looking at working with being a sustainable business or doing business for good, what's your nugget today?
In terms of that business for good and working through, I would look at give me an email. It's probably best to give me an email. Send me an email and we can discuss that, what that actually means to you. In terms of what we do, we give back as best we can. We make ourselves feel happy, if you like, by being able to give back to our local community and that wider community. We're regular contributors to the Trussell Trust. We've got a standing order each month that goes out to them. I'm a strong believer we shouldn't need to have food banks, but with that, we're helping where we do have a need at this time.
Yeah. Julian, an absolute pleasure as always. And I'm assuming we want people to get in contact with you via the email.
Usual email, julian@jca-ltd.co.uk. If you can get in contact, if you've got something you'd like to ask, more than happy to help.
Awesome. Julian, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm really, really pleased to hear about what you're doing in the community.
Yeah, thank you very much.